Hi, I'm John Schuyler, Vice President for OLLI at SOU. Today I'm joined by Paul Christy, who's a very active member of OLLI. And so, Paul, I'm going to just start off right up the bat with the questions. And the first one is, how long have you been an OLLI member?
I have been in OLLI out here since 2016, so that makes 9 years now. Fun flies when you're having time.
Yeah, that's great. And so, how long have you been volunteering for OLLI?
I thought about that, and it's been the same amount of time. When we decided to retire here from the East Coast, a neighbor of mine back in Virginia, where we lived, uh, pulled me aside and said, "When you retire, you need to find a good alley and join it because that's the key to, your success in retired life." And I thought about that, and it stuck in my head. And as we were driving across the country from the East Coast to get here in Oregon, I, in my spare time in the car, kind of looked up all the website information about OLLI at SOU and decided that I could propose a course. And I online, typed in the course proposal. And by the time I got here, the curriculum committee had met, accepted proposals, and I was lined up to be an instructor my first month.
Wow. Well, we're definitely glad that you chose Southern Oregon University for your OLLI. So, in looking at your volunteer experience, what would be, some of the high points?
Definitely teaching for me was the high point. There's nothing like getting over the hurdle of thinking you can present some material and then standing in front of a class and getting good feedback. Finding that OLLI members in their seats as students love to talk, love to listen, love to learn, and it's kind of a mutual experience where they're reinforcing what they know about your subject, and you're presenting yours. So teaching was definitely a highlight. I taught a couple courses on Oregon history during the Civil War. That was kind of a particular love of mine. And then I taught a couple sections of U.S. presidents over time, where we started with Washington and just kept going on from that. So teaching was number one. I have to say, volunteering starting with teaching just kept going. After I was teaching for a while, I got asked if I would like to join the curriculum committee, and I did. And in 2017 and 2018, I was a member and ultimately headed the curriculum committee for a while. Um, I took a hiatus while I worked outside for a little bit, and then I came back and I joined the OLLI Council, ran in 2022, and this will be my third year serving. So between teaching and volunteering and serving on the council, I think I've had my hat in volunteering as long as I've been an OLLI member here.
I'm on the council, so obviously I know you as our treasurer. So,
That's right.
tell me a little bit more about your background, because I think you're a great treasurer.
Well, that's a high praise to hear. It's difficult to learn for me, the kind of accounting that we do in a university setting. I was used to more of a government setting, but my background was as an economist for the federal government and a manager for them for 40 years. So I was pretty steeped in doing budgets. I worked for the Congressional Budget Committee on Capitol Hill in DC for 5 years and got used to the world of spreadsheets and the world of last minute demands and changes. So I held that in my head all the time. And when I did join the council, Phyllis Fernland was president and Tracy Palomini was vice president, soon to become president. And they took me aside and said, "We think you could do this." So it took a lot of hands-on help and patting on the back and correction, lots of correction. But it's been a fun ride to do that, and there's no better way to learn the environment of OLLI than to just watch what happens on council.
Yeah, yeah. Your work is very appreciative. Um,
Yeah.
so, the next question is, what keeps you volunteering? What keeps you coming back?
Every year I look at what I'm going to do in the year ahead, and I think, how can I stay involved? How can I keep learning? How can I meet new people? And the answer to all those questions is always OLLI. It's amazing to me. You can get sucked away into golf or fitness regimes, or you can go hiking. But if you want to keep learning, if you want to be stimulated by meeting new people and trying out new things, and you want to make, most importantly, new friends year in and year out, boy, Ollie just does it and ticks off all the boxes. So I think I will always be involved volunteering for Ollie because there's always something new to learn and new people to get involved with.
So, if someone approached you and said that they're just on the fence of thinking about volunteering, what would you tell them to get them off the fence and joining our volunteer cadre?
You know, that has actually happened several times. It usually comes around in this kind of a question. What in the world are you doing spending so much time with Ollie? That's the way I get asked. And my answer is, in addition to the reasons I just gave you before, um, we make Ollie what it is. And we're in year, gosh, 35 now of Ollie. And since 1993, when it started, every year the volunteers have worked to use their particular skills as they can to adapt Ollie to the changes in the coming year or the coming period. And to me, it's really important to take what I know about my life skills and what I've seen with Ollie and see if there's a way I can contribute to making Ollie, hum better and work for people. Another important thing is the more people who volunteer, the lower the cost of Ollie membership is, because we are, as we say over and over again, one of the best values for Ollie dollars in the country. I think there's 120 or so Ollies spread over all the states, and we're one of the lowest at $150 a year. As treasurer, when I put that hat on, I know that the reason it stays low is all of our expenses can fit into that $150 price. Were we to see people kind of sit back and say, I'm not going to volunteer, I'm not going to help, the same work has to be done, but we'd have to hire students or administrators or other staff members, and we'd see that cost climb up every year. So I can say that it's a great economic value at $150, and I want to do everything I can to keep that the way it is and moving forward. One last treasurer plug. If you take the consumer price index from 1993 and divide our subscription prices and increases over time, it's been exactly flat. So we've never in constant dollars increased our price since 1993. That's a big thing.
Yeah, that's definitely important for us retirees living on a fixed income.
Yep, absolutely. And it gets more and more fixed every year.
Yeah, and myself as another retired federal employee, what I think about is, giving something back. I had my public service career, and now in retirement, I want to still give something back.
Absolutely, I agree. And every time I sit in an Ollie class, and I try to sit in different places in the class each time. That doesn't always work, but I'll strike up a conversation with the person next to me who I may not know, and it's amazing how much you learn or are able to understand by talking through things and seeing the class or Ollie through their eyes. It really helps you evolve.
Yeah. So just the final question is, anything else you want to share with our members? We're going to post this video on our YouTube channel, and we get a fair number of viewers. So what would you like, anything else you'd like people to know?
Well, I think having a social media presence is extremely important, and hats off for getting this YouTube channel started. I live in Medford. I travel to Ashland several times a week. I'm in both places and have enjoyed Ollie at both locations and everywhere in between. But, I think it's important for Ollie to have the infrastructure that allows you to come to an event, come to a class in person, and if that doesn't work out, be able to log into a YouTube video or maybe the Ollie website, which is just great these days, and still participate in some way, to the extent that you're physically able. So I would like to share that I think OLLI is growing in the right direction. We've invested in technology, we've invested in our environment so that it's possible for just about anybody to say, yes, I can participate in OLLI, and I hope everybody does.
Well, Paul, thank you for your time. It's been a wonderful interview, and go out and enjoy this beautiful weather we're having.
Thank you, John. Much appreciated.
Okay.